White House is outlining a 6-part Delta tackling. All right,
President Biden's going to roll out later today. From Chief White House Correspondent Cecilia Vega. Good morning, Cecilia.
Good morning to you. So the White House, the president, they're doing this today because they say that they know that people are increasingly concerned about the Delta variant as kids are heading back to school and folks are heading back to the office. But there's also the political reality of this, that the president has seen his poll numbers start to slip when it comes to his handling of the coronavirus. The president met with his COVID response team yesterday. Later today, he's going to unveil this 6-point plan. Let me show you some of the big picture, big topics that they're going to hit in this plan. They're looking at talking about vaccinating the unvaccinated, keeping the vaccinated protected, keeping schools open and kids safe. That's an important one. Testing and mask mandates, the economic recovery and all of this, and care for those who do test positive. But look, George, you know, there are a lot of big questions heading into this address today. The reality is there's only so much that the federal government can actually do when it comes to mandating vaccines in the private sector. Officials here aren't saying much at this point about how the president is going to address booster shots today. And the White House, I'm told, is not expected, or the president rather, is not expected to issue any broad vaccine mandates. But George, maybe this is a little hint of the big picture that he's going to address today. The press secretary, when she was asked whether this address will have an immediate impact on Americans' lives, she says it depends.
What the fuck? I've never seen that before. In all of my years of watching like reporters, I thought that was a green screen.
Quaker Oats.
That's so strange.
On Americans' lives, she says.
That's so weird, dude. My man's just zooming.
It depends if you are vaccinated or not.
That is the big question right now. Okay, Cecilia, thanks very much.
Okay. So, Biden having caved again. White House is withdrawing David Chipman's nomination for ATF chief after Senators Joe Manchin and Angus King refused to back him. Chipman is a gun control advocate who promised to crack down on semi-automatic weapons and high-capacity gun magazines. I mean, you want to know what my hot take is? Like, my hot take is, like, he wasn't going to do shit about this anyway. So it literally doesn't mean anything. Does that make sense? So here's what I think is going to happen with the Biden plan, okay? 1, federal mandates coming, okay? Across the board. 2, I think that like private companies are going to start also implementing vaccine mandates across the board too, because in the United States of America, we can't do anything at the federal level. Everybody fucking loses their mind and they say, "Oh, dude, you're a piece of shit. What the fuck? Like that's federalism. We hate that." Okay, we absolutely hate that shit. So we just relegate all of that responsibility back to like a decentralized group of corporations. I know it's off topic, but I love to know what you think. If people are saying you should vote liberal because people are scared of conservatives in Canada. I don't know enough because I feel like people are criticizing NDP a lot too. I mean, NDP is still a lot better than liberals. So I don't know, but I mean, I've heard like Beckner on Chapo talk about how NDP sucks dick too. I see Aaron post about it all the time.
Thanks for radicalizing me.
Like shitting on NDP, but it's mostly like they're shitting on the aesthetics, so I don't know. I haven't really seen any like tangible policy positions that they're like upset about, with the only exception of NDP being in charge of British Columbia and like what the police force has done to water protectors out there. Yes, the NDP does also suck, but my local NDP person is actually great. Also important to point out that the BC provincial NDP is different and worse. All right, let's just keep going. There's so much to fucking cover. I'm sorry. You guys know that there was an Air Force One photo op incident in New York City? That reminds me of this. There was an Air Force One photo op incident that occurred on the morning of April 27, 2009, when a Boeing VC-25, a Boeing 747 military variant, given the call sign Air Force One, when the president is aboard, followed by a U.S. Air Force F-16 jet fighter, flew low and circled the Upper New York Bay, site of the Statue of Liberty National Monument. President Barack Obama was not on board the aircraft during the incident. Although the planes were engaged in a photo op and training exercise, citizens of New York and New Jersey had not been informed in advance. Some thought it could be the makings of a terrorist attack similar to 9/11. Some people ran out of buildings and panicked in the streets. Some buildings were ordered evacuations. The flyby was approved by Louis Caldera, director of the White House Military Office, to update the previous image of the aircraft flying over Mount Rushmore. How insane. Also, this is the fucking photo op that they got after terrifying everyone in New York. Yeah. Bro, this is what happened. This is... you guys think this is bad, but... You guys think this is bad, but like also at the same time, this is what will happen if you have like YouTubers in positions of power, okay? Like 9/11 2 prank. Pranking New York City. Pranking New York City 8 years after 9/11 with a 9/11 2 attack prank. Anyway, so that's an interesting thing that I just saw. David Guetta ended racism, or ended the commotion in Afghanistan. Let's take a look at what he had to do.
We hope we can see more unity and more peace. When already, and I really hope.
Shout out to the Taliban. That's Punjabi music. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. That fucking. You mean to tell me, a Turkish boy from that part of the fucking planet when this shit first popped off, every single person slapped to this, dude. Every single person living in the other side of the fucking planet, and maybe even in America, but like literally that song was probably the most it was the most popular song on the planet, dude. It's not an Indian wedding if Punjabi MC isn't banging. I'm just making the words up, but I would fucking blast that shit. It was the Middle East Despacito. Middle East, Asia, like, oh, that was fun. Do that again. Dude, I don't know what the fucking lyrics are, dude. I don't speak the language, dude. I mean, I'll try to recreate it right now.
8 months Pepela.
What are the lyrics, dude? Rajveer Dami, better known by his stage name Punjabi MC, is a British Indian recording artist, rapper, producer, and DJ of Punjabi ethnicity. He's best known for the Bhangra hit Mundian Tu Bakke, which sold 10 million copies worldwide, making one of the world's best-selling singles. Oh, the other one is Tunak Tunak, yeah. Okay, all right, we're done. We're done with the doing that to remake while wearing the towel. Wow, cultural. Oh my god, I didn't realize I literally have a towel on my head. So that probably looks really bad. Please don't clip that out of context, like as though I'm literally wearing a fucking towel for that reason. Oh no. Because my hair is wet. Oh no.
Hassle.
That was a terrible, terrible thing I just did. Okay. Here, let's watch this educator.
My name is Julie Panesi, and this message is about mandatory vaccinations. I am a professor of ethics at Huron College at the University of Western Ontario. It's one of the largest universities in Canada. Today, I'm going to teach you a short lesson on the universally accepted ethics of coercing people into medical procedures.
Just like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up and take the vaccine. Just shut up and take the vaccine. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Don't care. Fuck your ethics. Take the fucking vaccine. I do not care about your rights. Okay, I will trample all over your fucking rights, dude. Fuck you and your rights. Don't care.
I'll be the example. My employer has just mandated that I must get a vaccine for COVID-19. If I want to keep working at my job as a professor, I have to take this vaccine. Here's my conundrum. My school employs me to be an authority on the subject of ethics. I hold a PhD in ethics and ancient philosophy.
Love you,
And I'm
Hassan.
here to tell you it's ethically wrong to coerce someone to take a vaccine.
This goes to show that you can literally be a fucking PhD and still be an absolute fucking dumbass, dude. There is perhaps no better representation of that reality than this like fucking idiot with her dumb fucking degree being like, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to give you an ethics lesson. It's like,
Gigahaz.
hey, you fucking idiot. It's a public health and safety measure. What happened? Like, I don't understand. Is there no philosophy or like, God, oh my God, dude. It's just like, people are so fucking annoying, dude. There's no utilitarian principle here that could, I mean, you could not justify this from any singular fucking philosophy.
So hard for people to take the vaccine. It's just
If it happens to you, you don't have to do it. If you don't want a COVID vaccine,
The whole PhDs are the biggest vax deniers thing is a total fucking made up narrative by Facebook, by the way. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Like, stop. Don't even advance that narrative. Okay? And it literally doesn't even fucking matter. You want to know why it doesn't matter? Because the same people that were like, lol, imagine going to grad school for being gay, like, and learning about homosexual Marxism in grad school. Those very same people are now like, well, the PhDs are all actually anti-vaxxers. What happened, dude? I thought they were just like, I thought they were learning about like, I don't know, bimbifying the youth or something, 101. That's what they were getting their grad studies done on. What happened? She's a PPC supporter. I did a second fascinating interview with the Western University ethics professor Julie Ponesse on the ethical and legal implications of lockdown and vaccine policies. My videos are available on YouTube, Rumble. Of course she's a fucking PPC supporter, dude. Of course. Dude, I can't wait for this fucking dumbass to, like, come to America now. Just keep your fucking dumbasses in Canada, okay? Like, please, don't send every fucking Nazi down here. It's so annoying, man. We already have too much. We're full, okay? We're fucking full. Canada is not sending their best. They're Nazis. They're balls breathers. They're anti-vaxxers. And some, I believe, are very fine people. Only Twitch streamers, okay? The only people I'm allowing to come down to America going forward from Canada are like fucking Twitch streamers and like celebrities and like entertainment people, okay? And also journalists and stuff, because, you know, anytime like these fucking right-wing psychos make a name for themselves, they immediately move to America to be like, oh, this is my opportunity.
don't take one. End of discussion. It's your own business. But that is not the approach of the University of Western Ontario, which has suddenly required that I be vaccinated immediately or not report for work. So with the school year beginning in a few days, I am facing imminent dismissal after 20 years on the job.
Good.
Because I will not submit to having an experimental vaccine injected into my body. I've had plenty of vaccines in my life, but I've never been forced to take one. It's always been my choice. I don't work in a high-risk environment. I'm not a doctor in an emergency room. I'm a teacher. I'm a university professor.
Honestly, I can't think of a better way to like eliminate a tenured professor from the fucking roster than forcing them to do vaccines. Like, it's so awesome. It's literally a foolproof mechanism to just like yeet the absolute worst people that you normally would not be able to fucking take off the roster as a consequence of their tenure. This is great. Oh my fucking God. It's a wonderful way. It's a wonderful way to just like literally get all the dumbasses out. Now, of course, the other part of the problem here is that now that she did this, she's no longer a professor. She's like Jordan Peterson, dude. It's like Jordan Peterson. This is a deliberate attempt. I mean, look at Brett Weinstein. We're going to look at him in a second. Like, this piece of shit, Brett Weinstein, is like still going. Like, he still has a fucking podcast. He's no longer an educator. He quit his fucking job like 8 years ago or some shit. I don't remember. Everclear. Was it Everclear University or Evergreen University? Whatever. Some fucking students were like, oh, fuck you. Don't speak over us black students or something. And now he's like, now he has a podcast. He's just grifting. He's just like suckling on the Joe Rogan teat. It's a viable way to make a living. Better than fucking being a college professor.
My job is to teach students how to think critically, to ask questions that might expose a false argument. Questions like, says who? Who is the authority giving this order? Should I trust them with control over my body? As a professor, I don't have to watch the news to find out if the COVID vaccines are safe. I read medical journals and I consult my colleagues.
Bro, you're an ancient ethics professor. What the fuck kind of qualifications do you have to read medical journals, dumbass? It's like me reading medical journals. There's no difference between you and me reading medical journals. It's all technical jargon that you cannot comprehend, okay? Why are these Canadian professors using freshman, D-grad freshman rhetoric? Because she's a fucking idiot.
Who are professors of science and medicine. I've learned from doctors that there are serious questions about how safe these vaccines really are. There are questions about how well they work. Nobody's promising that I won't get COVID or transmit COVID if I get the vaccine. But ultimately, none of that matters to me because I'm a professor of ethics and I'm a Canadian. I'm entitled to make choices about what does and does not enter my body.
God, I hate these fucking grifters, dude. I hate them so much. I hate them so fucking much. Can't wait for her to fucking advocate for ivermectin on the Brett Weinstein podcast, like, tomorrow. You know what I mean? There is a lot of money to be made here, folks. You fucking come out like this. You take a brave stance, right? Oh my God, look at the big risk I'm taking. Look at the big risk I'm taking for freedom. And then all these other fucking idiots with like a boatload of money are like, hell yeah, brother. Thank you for your service. And the grift continues. The grift stays alive. I can't watch the rest of this. All right.
Voters are deciding whether Governor Gavin Newsom should keep his job. Newsom is asking big names in his own party to push Democrats to vote before the polls close Tuesday in that recall election there. And while recent polls seem to be in Newsom's favor, as Carter Evans reports, his campaign is not leaving it to chance.
Your vote could be the difference between protecting our kids and putting them at risk, helping Californians recover or taking us backwards.
Former President Barack Obama.
Dude, Gavin Newsom sucks so much ass. And like Andre Demise was saying, like, I'm sheepdogging for the Democratic Party the other day. Friend of the show, Andre. He's right. I am. I totally am sheepdogging for the Democratic Party here. And even the fucking PSL. Like, people that have been running revolutionary, third-party, socialist organizers that have like literally tried to run third-party candidacies against the Democratic Party are advocating for destroying and defeating this recall. Like, think about that for a second. Every single DSA, PSL, like other revolutionary organizers are advocating to fight against this recall. Okay? There's a reason for that. Because not a single one of us want fucking Larry Elder to be the governor. Okay? We do not want Larry Elder to be the governor. Okay? And what you guys have to remember is, like, this isn't just... Here's the thing. What this recall is not... This recall isn't a fucking, like, Democratic vote for Gavin Newsom or someone else. It is a sinister method to try to sneak in a reactionary Republican in a position of power in a massive fucking state.
Over a year. Happy anniversary, Hassie.
By taking advantage of the lack of attention by using the recall mechanism that California has. If you want to fucking democratically vote for someone else, wait for Gavin Newsom's Wait for Gavin Newsom's term to end. Okay? There's a reason for the recall. Gavin Newsom is incompetent. You're being a neolib and allowing Newsom to run the state into the ground with your blue no matter who BS because you're afraid a Republican will win. Yeah, because I'm not a fucking idiot, dude. I'm sorry. You are. That's the reality. You are probably not even someone who lives in California. Okay? You are either a Republican yourself and think you can, like, you know, sneak in some fucking talking points in here. Okay? And yes, if Gavin Newsom is recalled, a Republican will win. And not just any Republican, a Republican dumbass like Larry Elder. Okay? Maybe Feinstein should resign now. I agree. I agree with that. I think Feinstein should have resigned and never even ran again. But ultimately, it's like insane. Is it too late for Feinstein to resign? Of course. Now I'm a Republican because I have standards for our Democrat leaders. Keep leaning into your neolib ideas. Yeah, dude. I am a neoliberal. That's right. Yeah, you fucking got me, dude. Everything I hate is a neoliberal. Totally. Me? Total neoliberal, dude. Oh. Listen, you fucking dumb idiot. Larry Elder becoming the governor of California does not actually help the working class. Okay? This is just defensive posturing. This is just defensive voting. So shut the fuck up. One of the most annoying parts about, like, often anti-electoralist leftists and these kinds of rhetoric that they engage in is that they have no alternatives for it. They just want to fucking run shit into the ground. Accelerationism in America will not accelerate to a point where there will be magically a revolutionary vanguard party that comes from the ashes. When you're accelerating in the United States of America without actual organizing on the other side as a counterbalance, then you are basically accelerating towards fascism. Sorry, that's just the fucking truth. And that's why you have dumbasses like this guy who goes, Elder will not be worse than Newsom. Give the guy a chance for a year and a half. Fuck you, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking... Give the guy a chance for a year and a half? No shot. Yeah, let's just
less than 3 forgot
put
to cancel my
the world's
anyway.
like 10th largest economy. Let's put like a fucking random dickhead in charge that will get like 1 million votes max. Okay? In charge of the world's like 10th largest economy. That sounds great, dude. Yeah. Let's just give a guy who believes in $0 minimum wage or 5th largest economy. Sorry. Yeah, let's just do that, dude, for a little bit. Let's just test it out. Yeah, how about I give him a chance for him to run for governor in a year and a half? How about that? If he wants the chance, he can wait. I don't know how this got to this point. What do you mean you don't know how? You don't know anything, dude. You're a fucking idiot. Like, you're literally an idiot.
Obama is now joining Democratic allies in the fight to keep Governor Gavin Newsom in office. In an ad released Wednesday,
even if Larry Elder became the governor, he couldn't do much because CA state legislator is very blue. You're wrong. A governor still has incredible powers, dude. You're fucking delusional.
17,
okay?
Baby.
Why the fuck do we get mad at Gavin Newsom all the fucking time? Because he has a fuckload of power. Shut up.
Former president praised...
Here's the thing, dude. Here's the issue. You guys don't know anything. So just shut up. If you are an advocate against electoralism, when there's elections happening, then you don't get to have a say here, okay? I'll listen to you, but you don't get to have a say in elections. Like, that's just the way it is. Okay, so shut the fuck up. You don't understand how this works. So shut up. Just, you know, keep your fucking dumb mouth shut. How about that? So stupid. If you have
like Newsom,
solid organizing and a viable alternative to Gavin Newsom that has an actual shot at fucking winning the recall, then I'll hear you out. But if you don't have that, then shut the fuck up. Having Kevin McCarthy be the Speaker of the House is not going to change, is not going to make even marginal improvements on the working class, okay? Accelerationism always fucking accelerates towards fascism in America in the absence of a robust and successful labor-organized political counterbalance. There is nothing there. Like, we have nothing. Can you explain how we got to this recall? We got to this recall because California has like really weird rules on recall where you can basically fucking recall a governor if a certain percentage of the state signs a petition. Yeah, you need 12% of the general votes cast. Okay?
Newsom's pandemic response. But with having had some of the strictest lockdown measures in the country, it's become a key issue for both sides of the recall campaign. How do you plan to vote?
I'm going to vote for the recall.
Why?
I've not been particularly happy with the governor's performance.
They should always follow that up with who do you plan on voting then? And why? Thank you, Neelam, for the 10 gifted subs.
And I think he could have done better on the COVID, frankly.
A third of all small businesses are now gone forever because he refused to allow us to use our own.
Can you imagine like a Republican like Larry Elder being good for small businesses? Like, when have Republicans ever been good for small businesses, dude? Republicans believe in deregulation across the board, free market. That always leads to further monopolization of industries, okay? The reason why I hate Gavin Newsom is because of his similarities with Republicans as it pertains to economic issues, as it pertains to his protectionist attitude with regards to the housing market, okay? The way he treats big business and protects the big business and puts big business's interests over the interests of like average working class citizens. That's why I hate Gavin Newsom. So the solution is not to fucking recall him and then have an even worse person.
Common sense, our own good judgment.
Republican frontrunner and talk radio host Larry Elder says he'll repeal mask and vaccine mandates. He was heckled by homeless advocates Wednesday, one of whom...
For the record, you only need 2 million people to vote for a recall or sign a petition for a recall. But you can literally win the recall if you can win the recall by one vote. Like one person could do a sign-up campaign if no one, technically, if no one in the state literally fucking voted on the second part of the petition, and everyone, and more than 50% of people voted for a recall, you could literally have like me be the fucking governor, okay? So it's a completely psychotic system. And currently, as it stands, like what, 26% of voters say they will vote for Larry Elder. And I think like 53% say they're going to vote no on the recall. So even on the other side, the people that are voting yes, only 26% are going to vote. So 26% of the people that are saying that they're going to vote are going to vote for Larry Elder. We're going to have a Republican governor take control of the entire California budget with 26% of the vote? Are you fucking kidding me? That's insane.
Threw an egg at the candidate during an LA campaign stop. Elder is currently leading the nearly 4 dozen candidates. Both Republican and Democrat donors have spent millions on the recall, but Newsom's backers have raised almost double the amount of all of his opponents. Now, Democrats say energizing people to actually get out and vote is key to a win on Tuesday.
Now that they started to see and research like who is actually trying to become the new governor, they got a little freaked out and now they're voting.
Well, this is one of the ballot drop-off locations in Napa Valley here. The only successful California recall was in 2003 when actor Arnold Schwarzenegger replaced Governor Gray Davis. Now, on Tuesday, if more than 50% of voters...
Being skeptical of electoralism only means you believe in accelerationism, false dichotomy, Andy. Dude, I routinely talk about how electoralism under a bourgeois capitalist state structure is designed in a way to create outcomes that are good for capital owners, okay? I am skeptical of the electoral system as well. But while you are engaging in labor organizing, while you're engaging in organizing in general and building a fucking working class movement, you have to continue trying to engage in as much harm reduction as you possibly can. And with no viable alternative in sight, there's nothing you can do. It's so easy to just be like, dude, fuck you. Like, you're a hypocrite, Andy. You have a house or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. If we're talking about it realistically speaking, it doesn't fucking matter to me beyond, like, how frustrated I get because we can't solve any of these issues. Okay? What, you think Larry Elder's gonna do shit that hurts me? No. You think Gavin Newsom is gonna do shit that hurts me? No. I want Gavin Newsom to do shit that actually technically taxes me more or decreases the property values, including my property value of the house that I recently bought. I don't know what you guys always fucking talk about with respect to like me being a fucking neo-lib or a DNC operative or whatever the fuck. Like it's good. You know, your intellectual, your pseudo-intellectual favorite podcaster probably looks super cool when he takes a brave stance against this. But there's a reason why like everyone in California, including fucking organizers on the ground, who have done a fuckload more work than every single podcaster and myself combined, are working against this recall. Like, they do not want this recall to happen. Okay? I love when my mom asks, do you want to pay more in tax? I always reply, yes. Between my HSA and insurance, I lose almost $500 a month. Like, there's no way you can explain the math to me. Just vote for Larry Elder then. Like, why don't you just vote for Larry Elder? You know, fuck it. Just start voting for Republicans. And some do, like, some of these like weirdo fucking leftist accounts that are like constantly looking for fucking new methods of branding themselves have unironically started doing shit like that, where they're just like, yeah, there needs to be an alliance with like fucking fascists and, you know, they're working class too and da-da-da. And it's like, it lacks historical analysis. The funny part is that in the upcoming primary, they will make up some BS excuse to not support the progressive primary challenger. They will be invested and make content on the primary to oppose progressives in the primary and will only support the third party, polling at 0.2%. Can't wait to vote yes on the recall of Gavin Newsom because I don't play team sports and because he's done absolutely nothing but further screw the working class and progressives in CA. I will not be subjected to fear tactics by faux socialists putting the right-wing boogeyman fear again. Okay, go ahead, man. Have fun. Think about it. They won't support progressives against establishment Dems in the primary and will actually strongly oppose them and not help them against M4A, anti-GND, anti-1525 per hour establishment, even though it won't harm their third-party candidate who will 100% lose. There's some peeps on Twitter that I generally admire and respect, but they act like making immediate decisions to prevent harm or somehow delaying some future amorphous changes. Ultimately, I've talked about this before, okay? I talk to people that have different opinions than me on issues like this all the time, okay? And one of the things that we both agree on is that, like, Hillary Clinton was a gift to the progressive movement. She was dog shit, okay? And her narcissistic entitled attitude on, you know, putting the time in to fucking claim that, like, she now deserves to be president, especially after 2008, was the only reason why Bernie Sanders was so popular. I mean, not the only reason. There were many other material reasons as to why, but, like, I think people greatly understate how unpopular Hillary Clinton was and how much that created momentum for Bernie Sanders, which then created real momentum within socialist organizing and within, like, socialism becoming more mainstream. Okay? So I recognize that reality. I am not always anti, you know, challenging establishment candidates. I'm in favor of exhausting the state mechanism, the state machinations, as best as you can while building a legitimate fucking working class movement. Our labor union organizing hit its peak in the last like 10 years right now. But with respect to like the last fucking decade, or not the last decade, sorry, the last century, we have the least amount of momentum. Okay, within unions. We haven't had like serious wildcat strikes. We've had like only a couple. It's absolutely awful, dude. It's awful. So we still have to fucking, we have so much more to build. There is so much more we need to do, which is part of the reason why I'm having Hugo on today and, you know, working more on trying to have like local positions filled in both Los Angeles and California in general and all across the country. And I tell you guys all the time to go and fucking, you know, run for local positions. Some of you in this community that don't want to, you know, say it out loud have already done so. So I respect their interest in wanting to remain private. So I won't mention it. But, you know, it takes time. Okay? Unfortunately. You know, Amazon paying for college thoughts. Yeah, they're just trying to, that's a response to unionization efforts all around. But, you know, in the words of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, there are decades where nothing happens, and then there are weeks where decades happen. Okay? But ultimately, this takes so much fucking organizing and so much time, and we need more bargaining power within the electoral system. Even if it is to simply build a robust, successful, working class movement. Okay? Because having leftists in positions of power, having socialists in positions of power, no matter how low on the fucking totem pole they might be, ultimately shows the rest of the
there's a huge labor
shows the rest of the working class here that, like, one, the government can actually help, okay, with the policies that they can implement, and two, like, all of the other progressive candidates that have come out in the aftermath of Bernie Sanders have come out because of the popularity of this movement. So yeah, while the squad have a lot of issues, okay, they do. While the squad have a lot of issues, ultimately, they are working towards a solid goal. You think AOC would have what? Would have won without Bernie? AOC wouldn't have run without Bernie. Anyway, Bernie would have never won because he wouldn't be a puppet for the party. Okay, these are silly speculations to make. Ex-FBI agent who worked on secret 9/11 case says hijackers at a U.S.-based support network. Surprising. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to CBS Mornings. Saturday marks 20 years since the 9/11 terror attacks, and some of the victims' families are still demanding answers from the government. 15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudi nationals, and many family members believe there is a connection between Saudi leadership and the attackers. Last week, President Biden ordered the review and possible release of classified documents related to 9/11. And CBS News spoke exclusively with a retired FBI agent who was part of a still secret investigation into the hijacker support network inside the U.S. and the possible role of Saudi government officials and employees. Senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge has the story.
No, guys, it's not a fucking inside job. It's like, how do I describe it? Like, the thing is, it's not full-blown an inside job. It's part incompetence and part malicious incompetence, part malicious negligence and part incompetence. Okay? The inside part of it is like the agencies not communicating with one another, and also years and years of foreign policy that literally fucking carefully built out a network of militant Islamist fundamentalist cells that worked within Europe, that operated within the United States, and operated all over the fucking Middle East, okay? It's blowback. It is negligence. It's incompetence. It's not like George W. Bush was like, all right, Jack, we're gonna get a Boeing 747 and we're gonna fly it right into 9/11. We're gonna fly it right into the towers 9/11. No, like, it's more so that if such a thing were to happen, we would turn the other cheek while it was happening, because it would work alongside our interests of, engaging with the countries in the region that we want to engage in. Okay? Engage with.
This summer, Brett Eagleson went to Capitol Hill to press the U.S. government to release secret files from the FBI's 9/11 case.
We've told the sad story for 19 years. We've cried on camera.
Eagleson's father, Bruce, worked in and died in the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Now grief has turned to rage.
It's not about that anymore. It's about how we're angry. We're pissed off.
It is painful.
The Eaglesons and other 9/11 families want details of a secret FBI investigation codenamed Operation Encore, centered on the two hijackers that lived in San Diego.
It's a 10-year-long investigation that specifically investigated the role that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia played in supporting the hijackers.
I just want to remind everybody that Obama literally was like, you shouldn't be able to sue the Saudi government for them being state sponsors of terror.
Is that the first mosque they went to in San Diego?
This is it right here on our left.
Danny Gonzalez was an FBI agent who worked on Operation Encore. He showed us the neighborhood the hijackers lived in before they crashed American Airlines Flight 77 into the Pentagon. This is Gonzalez's first television interview about the case.
19 hijackers cannot commit 3,000 mass murders by themselves.
Based on what you found, do you believe there was a domestic support network for the hijackers?
Obviously.
No question.
But I can't comment on it, but you don't have to be an FBI agent with 26 years of experience to figure that out.
Gonzalez says the two hijackers, Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Madar, were helped by a number of Saudis, including...
The funniest part about this is that, like, what is going to end up happening, I'm pre-watching the future. What is going to end up happening is the FBI is going to point the finger at the CIA, and the CIA are fucking demons, so they're going to turn it right back to the FBI and say that, like, oh, no, dude, it's the actual FBI. We'll find out more about, like, the FBI torture program, for example, even though it is within collaboration with the CIA. I'm seeing it happen already. Like, the FBI's mass surveillance program was so fucking horrifying. Like, it is so it's just so horrible, so awful, such a significant destruction, erosion of human rights that we didn't even have, which, by the way, was led by Bob Mueller. Yes, that is true. And hopefully out of that, interagency fighting, we will get some delicious classified information. That's what I'm looking forward to. For the record, this New York Times, the daily broadcast today was pretty good, where Terry Albury gave an interview back in the day and went to jail for this, by the way, leaking the details of FBI's, like, incredible surveillance program that basically terrorized Somali Muslims. He brought you up by name, by the way, Chelsea. He said that you were one of his... You were the reason that, like, he came out and spoke out against this program. I don't know if you listened to the podcast yet or not, but stop spreading misinfo. FBI did 9/11. Jesus Christ, dude, shut the fuck up. Let's keep going.
Omar al-Bayoumi. Bayoumi worked for the Saudi government in California and has said he simply ran into the two hijackers at a restaurant in Los Angeles and encouraged them to move to San Diego.
And this is the building he lived in.
There, he helped them find an apartment and open a bank account. The two hijackers even started flight school nearby.
Can't sit on the sidelines when I know the truth.
Gonzalez says he's under FBI orders not to talk about certain aspects of Operation Encore because of national security concerns, as is another former agent, Ken Williams, who wrote a memo before 9/11 warning terrorists were taking flight lessons in Arizona. Both men are now working as investigators for the families.
The evidence is there. I've seen it, but I can't get into specifics because of the protective order.
In a statement, the Saudis said they had nothing to do with this terrible crime, and they support the full declassification of any documents. Under President Biden's executive order, some of the secret files must be reviewed by Saturday, the 20th anniversary of the attacks.
We are writing history.
The declassification for a lot of these files are going to be very important to piece together details that people have been looking for a very long time. I don't know how much of it is going to be full-blown declassified. I don't know how much of that will be redacted, but there are a lot of fucking, like, holes in the story that we will hopefully be able to connect with some of the declassified material. Remember, all of this was just a conspiracy. I mean, it's not. Like, I don't know what you mean by, like, all of this was a conspiracy.
Fog.
Like, a conspiracy to, like, do 9/11. Yes, there was a conspiracy. A conspiracy theory about, like, towers falling or, like, planned destruction. You know, there were bombs within the towers or whatever. Like, that sort of stuff is entertaining for me and interesting to hear about, but I personally believe that, like, we funded, armed, trained these people, okay, We allowed them to have networks of operation within the United States and within Europe and all over the fucking place. We overlooked their plan of action, or their plan of attack and their plans of action, even after Osama bin Laden personally blew up embassies, blew up a fucking cruiser, and all this other shit. We played a role in the execution of fuck, I always fuck this dude's name up. The leader of the Northern Alliance at the time, right before he gave up, right before he was in the process of facilitating a deal to give up Osama bin Laden. Yeah, Shah Massoud. 2 days before 9/11, like, he was assassinated by Al Qaeda. And the reason why his location was leaked was because the reason why his location was leaked at the time, when he was like literally fucking fighting against the Taliban and fighting against numerous other Mujahideen formations and fighting against like everyone else in the northern region, and was a well-respected hero in that area. Ahmad Shah Massoud was in the Panjshir Valley. He was visited by people that portrayed themselves like these people that were in the Al Qaeda network. Okay, he was visited by people that portrayed themselves as journalists, and that visitation was facilitated by someone that was working under the Blind Sheik, which was a CIA asset at the time, and still, I don't know if he's dead or not. But the Blind Sheik is like also responsible for numerous attacks as well. So, these are all people that are within our network of assets.
As we speak, and it's my goal that when my daughter goes to school, when she's taught the subject, that we get it right.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Catherine Herridge.
Part of the reason why people were so fucking mad at me about my comments on 9/11 and my comments like Brave Mujahideen and shit, aside from like the spicy language, was literally because of the lack of knowledge surrounding the subject matter up until this very moment. Consent was so successfully manufactured in this country with respect to 9/11 as an untouchable subject that like shit that I've said seemed like it was crazy conspiracy theories, when my explanations for why I said were considered to be conspiracy theories. Now, these motherfuckers are starting to read Ghost Wars, and all the people that were like wilding out are starting to watch these like 9/11 20th anniversary documentaries, and they're like, holy fuck, everything you said in your explanation was actually right, and I just had no fucking idea. Are you saying that the CIA had a part to play in the Massoud assassination? Yes. Yes, I am saying that. And I hope that some of the declassified documents will show that. Considering that the fucking main person that facilitated that assassination did so under the watchful eye of the CIA. All of his correspondence was being watched, dude. All of his correspondence was being documented at the time. Like, so when authorities apprehend a, leader of a terror cell, they oftentimes will allow them to continue facilitating attacks. And the reason for why they do that, this is common practice. The Turkish government does this with Abdullah Öcalan, for example. Okay? And it's common practice because that information exposes the larger web. And it's very valuable. Because that way you get to figure out who the other people are, who the other facilitators are. Okay? You bait them. So no, I don't think that like I don't believe that like this person's assassination 2 days before 9/11 was a fucking accident. I mean, I don't mean to say like these two incidents were entirely connected, but considering the fact that this dude wanted to extradite Osama bin Laden to the United States because America was already interested in invading Afghanistan to get Osama bin Laden even before 9/11, or at least starting to do like boots on the ground JSOC operations to get Osama bin Laden. something that most of the Mujahideen did not want was American invasion or American involvement. I do believe that I do believe that that played a significant role. Hopefully we'll learn more about it. Isn't that just a conspiracy theory? No. How are you better than other conspiracy theories like Alex Jones? No. The conspiracy theory part of that would be to say, like, I don't know, that like the towers were fucking demolished secretly by George W. Bush or some shit. Anyway, they're making up a game show about who's the better activist. Usher, Priyanka Chopra, Jonas, and Julianne Hu will be hosting a competition called The Activist. Activists go head-to-head and challenge to promote their causes. Their success measured via online engagement. This is literally the worst thing I've ever seen, dude. Also, yeah, Priyanka Chopra being like one of the main people is hilarious. Peak liberalism, dude. This is so good. Oh, fuck. Anyway, President Joe Biden to mandate all employers. When is he going live? Breaking. President Joe Biden to mandate all employers with more than 100 workers require COVID vaccinations and weekly virus tests. The new requirement would affect as many as 100 million people. Jack.
Really funny when the radio guys are the best. There were like 4 of them died. 4 of them who were like ranting on the air. They will not get vaccinated. They were on fire. These guys. It was like day after day. They were all dying. And then their dying words are, I wish I had been more into the vaccine. I wish I had taken it.
You know, I have trouble drumming up compassion. And I think that's a terrible thing, to not be able to drum up compassion for people that stupid that they wind up dying.
Where do I have that clip of that Mark Bernier guy? Bernier, the guy who died. Oh, I got it. Here it is. This is the guy, I'm not getting the vaccine. Fuck, but that's the guy who died.
The funniest part about this is like, and it is funny, but the funniest part about this shit is that like these fucking idiots, unlike Tucker Carlson, didn't get vaccinated. You know what I mean? Like Tucker Carlson knows what's up. He gets vaccinated and then tells you don't get the vaccine. These fucking dumbasses believed that like their own bullshit. You can't get high off of your own fucking supply, you absolute dinguses. It is hilarious that like these fucking dumbasses got high off their own supply and believed their own misinformation and fucking died, dude.
16 That's a great question, and we were going to talk about that as far as the vaccine goes. You know, what about you?
Yeah.
I'm not taking it. Come on. Are you kidding me, Mr. Anti-Vax?
Massoud was killed by 2 al-Qaeda operatives under orders from bin Laden who wanted to help his Taliban protectors and ensure their cooperation in Afghanistan. This is what all the evidence suggests. The CIA is terrible, but there's no evidence they had any involvement. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I already described to you that the 2 al-Qaeda operatives, one Chechen, I believe, I forget who the other one was, literally got the information and facilitated that a deal where they were acting, they were posing as though they were fucking journalists through a network that the Blind Sheik had created. The CIA at the time was monitoring everything the fucking Blind Sheik, that the Blind Sheik was saying, okay, to intercept their operations. They purposefully did not intercept this operation. It is impossible that the letter drafted by Blind Sheik that made its way to the proper authorities that literally was 1,000% analyzed by the CIA and is well documented too, was not seen by the CIA, or that they didn't know how to fucking intercept this and stop this from happening. What are your thoughts on Ahmed Massoud, the son? No, Ahmed Massoud's son is like terrible.
Cheapers.
Ever? Cheapers. No. Anti-vax. Mr. Anti-vax.
And he died?
Yeah, he's dead. He no longer walks. There were 3 other guys, too. I don't have tape of all of them.
The vaccine doesn't work.
And they're on the radio preaching this shit. I'll tell you what. As far as I remember, when I went to school, you had to get a measles vaccine. You had to get a mumps vaccine. You had to get, there was a ton of them you got.
You still
polio.
have to. In order to go to school, you have to have certain vaccines.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? Fuck them. Fuck their freedom. I want my freedom to live. I want to get out of the house already. I want to go next door and play chess. I want to go take some pictures.
I mean, listen, this guy, Howard Stern is a shit lib, and he's been one for a long time. So, of course, he's going to have a good take on the vaccines.
Hey,
I don't know why people are surprised by this. The president will announce that employers with 100 or more employees will be required to mandate COVID-19 vaccines or require testing at least once a week, and they'll have to provide paid time off. The new rule will impact over 80 million workers in the private sector. COVID-19 vaccinations will also be required for more than 17 million healthcare workers at hospitals and other facilities that receive Medicare or Medicaid reimbursement, roughly 50K providers. This covers a majority of healthcare workers nationwide. Fuck yes. At a time when there's massive nurse shortages, by the way, I don't know how the fuck the nurses are going to respond to this. There are a lot of fucking anti-vax hog nurses. This could pose a problem. Just letting y'all know. But we shall see. Crowder is still a part of the YouTube partner program, which means YouTube pays him to say stuff like this.
There's the stereotype. No, because we wouldn't want anyone to perpetuate, of course, the stereotype of princess. That's not something that we would ever want there. Yeah, you can be a little more timely there, Tim. With the
well, as long as you're a man.
Yeah, as long as you're a man. It's just like, oh no, listen, listen. This is just. I believe I'm a woman. Really? How many transgender individuals are saying, I want to be a woman? Why? So I can become a scientist. No, they want to become a woman so they can have big old fake tits and clown makeup. Let's be really clear about it. Okay? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Bruce Jenner is now Caitlyn Jenner, is dressed like a Barbie, wearing a corset with those dimensions, and is wearing a princess tiara. But hey.
Does Steven Crowder think that, like, all trans women dress up like fucking princesses? What? Also love to accidentally correctly gender a trans person only to stop midway to make sure that you fucking fit that make sure you fit that dead name right in there. That's my favorite. When someone like accidentally doesn't dead name a trans person, they stop themselves halfway to literally turn around and be like, "Oh no, I'm going to fucking, you know, I'm going to do it."
A Barbie wearing a corset with those dimensions, and
to be fair though, or not to be fair, but like what I find to be interesting about this argument is that like most of the trans women I know are literally like fucking coders and shit. I mean, obviously it's like bias sampling, but like I've never met like a trans woman that's like what the fuck's he talking about? I mean, of course, it's because I'm on fucking Twitch, but like they're all comp sci nerds and shit. Anyway, is literally a stereotype meme in the community. Yeah, programmer socks.
Is wearing a princess tiara, but hey, well, no, that's fine, just not for biological women.
Well, did you see the example she used? She's like, "Oh, princess, what do you need?" And she's like, "Why can't we call him scientist doctor? Because I don't call my son, oh, scientist, what do you need?"
Oh, well, I don't.
Like that's the most. I don't believe he's ever been to an accredited university.
Yeah, I don't believe.
I don't know what's going on here. Like, I don't understand. I why are we watching this? Ugh, Steven Crowder. He's such a morally bankrupt, like, ugly on the inside person, dude. It's sickening, dude. I just like I don't get it. Like, I don't know
she
why.
has a degree for me to call her a doctor.
Also one. Like, it's a bit early to be called. And I love how she referred to her husband.
What?
Yeah, her husband.
I don't even know what he's saying. Like, I don't really care. Okay.
We get it.
I don't care. Let's see what Barack Obama had to say.
Californians, you've got a big choice to make by September 14th. Governor Newsom has spent the past year and a half protecting California communities. Now Republicans are trying to recall him from office and overturn common sense COVID safety measures for healthcare workers and school staff. Your vote could be the difference between protecting our kids and putting them at risk, helping Californians recover or taking us backwards. Protect California.
It's such a dumb. I mean, I guess it's a good ad for the people on the ground, but like, I think the real issue is like, Gavin Newsom hasn't done enough personally to like fix homelessness in the state, and Larry Elder is going to be even worse. And I think that's the real fucking angle in this situation. But that would also be difficult to talk about considering the reality that they haven't done enough. Do you think states are going to fight the vax mandates? I'm worried about that aspect. Not federal. If federal workers can't fight against it. You shouldn't be telling people to vote for Newsom. You should be telling people to vote against Elder. Yeah, that's what it is. That's all it is. Also, yes, Texas. The Justice Department is suing Texas over its new restrictive abortion law. Oh, written by my friend Katie Benner. Two terrible choices. Yay. Yeah, that's welcome to living in America, dude. Welcome to living in the West. All right, we're going to listen to Joe Biden, Jack.
Last week, that grim weekly toll was down 70%. And then 3 months before I took office, our economy was faltering, creating just 50,000 jobs a month. We're now averaging 700,000 new jobs a month in the past 3 months.
Quality's dog shit.
This progress is real. But while America is much in better shape than it was 7 months ago when I took office, I need to tell you a second fact. We're in the tough stretch, and it could last for a while. Highly contagious Delta variant that I began to warn America about back in July spread late summer like it did in other countries before us. While the vaccines provide strong protection for the vaccinated, we read about and hear about and we see the stories of hospitalized people on their deathbeds among the unvaccinated over the past few weeks. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
He's right.
And it's caused by the fact that despite America having unprecedented and successful vaccination program, despite the fact that for almost 5 months, free vaccines have been available in 80,000 different locations, we still have nearly 80 million Americans who have failed to get the shot. And to make matters worse, there are elected officials. Here's the math. The vast majority of Americans are doing the right thing. Nearly 3/4 of the eligible have gotten at least one shot, but 1/4 has not gotten any. That's nearly 80 million Americans not vaccinated. And a country as large as ours, that's 25% minority. That 25% can cause a lot of damage, and they are. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals.
The irony is they're causing it to themselves in many ways, and others as well, but like definitely to themselves.
No room for someone with a heart attack or pancreatitis or cancer. And fourth, I want to emphasize that the vaccines provide very strong protection from severe illness from COVID-19. I know there's a lot of confusion and misinformation, but the world's leading scientists confirm that if you are fully vaccinated, your risk of severe illness from COVID-19 is very low. In fact, based on available data from the summer, only 1 out of every 160,000 fully vaccinated Americans was hospitalized for COVID per day. These are the facts. So here's where we stand. The path ahead, even with the Delta variant, is not nearly as bad as last winter. But what makes it incredibly more frustrating is that we have the tools to combat COVID-19, and a distinct minority of Americans, supported by a distinct minority of elected officials, are keeping us from turning the corner. These pandemic politics, as I refer to, are making people sick, causing unvaccinated people to die. We cannot allow these actions to stand in the way of protecting the large majority of Americans who have done their part and want to get back to life as normal. As your president, I'm announcing tonight a new plan to require more Americans to be vaccinated to combat those blocking public health. My plan also increases testing, protects our economy, and will make our kids safer in schools. It consists of 6 broad areas of action and many specific measures in each of those actions that you can read more about in whitehouse.gov. Whitehouse.gov. The measures, these are going to take time to have full impact. But if we implement them, I believe, and the scientists indicate, that the months ahead we can reduce the number of unvaccinated Americans, decrease hospitalizations and deaths, and allow our children to go to school safely and keep our economy strong by keeping businesses open. First, we must increase vaccinations among the unvaccinated with new vaccination requirements. Of the nearly 80 million eligible Americans who have not gotten vaccinated, many said they were waiting for approval from the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA.
Cap. No, they weren't.
Last month, the FDA granted that approval. So the time for waiting is over. This summer, we made progress through the combination
What did I tell
of
you guys?
vaccine requirements and incentives.
I said FDA authorization or approval is only good for the mandates. That is what will get people
4 million
vaccinated.
more people got their first shot in August than in July. But we need to do more. This is not about freedom.
The real push will come from the
personal
mandates.
choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you, the people you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. My job as president is to protect all Americans. So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this. United Airlines, Disney, Tyson's Food, and even Fox News. The bottom line, we're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated coworkers.
And they've been doing it.
We're going
He's
to
right.
reduce the spread of COVID-19 by increasing the share of the workforce that is vaccinated in businesses all across America. My plan will extend the vaccination requirements that I previously issued in the healthcare field. Already, I've announced we'll be requiring vaccinations of all nursing home workers who treat patients on Medicare and Medicaid because I have that federal authority. Tonight, I'm using that same authority to expand that to cover those who work in hospitals, home health care facilities, or other medical facilities, a total of 17 million health care. If you're seeking care at a health facility, you should be able to know that the people treating you are vaccinated. Simple, straightforward, period. Next, I will sign an executive order that will now require all executive branch federal employees to be vaccinated, all. And I've signed another executive order that will require federal contractors to do the same. If you want to work with the federal government and do business with us, get vaccinated.
Yeah, Sweden has
You
passed
wanna
this in
do business with
vaccination
the federal
percentages.
government, vaccinate your workforce.
67% is
And
fully
tonight,
or vaccinated
I'm
with one
removing
vax
one of the
in
last
Sweden.
remaining obstacles that make it difficult for you to get
63 in
vaccinated.
America, I think.
The Department of Labor will require employers with 100 or more workers to give those workers paid time off to get vaccinated. No one should lose pay in order to get vaccinated or take a loved one to get vaccinated. Today, in total, the vaccine requirements in my plan will affect about 100 million Americans, 2/3 of all workers. And for other sectors, I issue this appeal to those of you running large entertainment venues, from sports arenas to concert venues to movie theaters. Please require folks to get vaccinated or show a negative test as a condition of entry. And to the nation's family physicians, pediatricians, GPs, general practitioners, you're the most trusted medical voice to your patients. You may be the one person who can get someone to change their mind about being vaccinated. Tonight, I'm asking each of you to reach out to your unvaccinated patients over the next 2 weeks and make a personal appeal to them to get the shot. America needs your personal involvement in this critical effort. My message to unvaccinated Americans is this: what more is there to wait for? What more do you need to see? We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine is FDA approval.
Waving hand.
Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
He's right.
So please do the right thing. But just don't take it from me. Listen to the voices of unvaccinated Americans who are lying in hospital, but taking their final breath saying,
bro, there are literally just as many dead people now weekly that there were last year when there was no vaccine. And the only thing that is consistent is 100% of the people last year were unvaccinated, and nearly 100% of the people that are dying are also still unvaccinated.
For the vast majority of you who've gotten vaccinated, I understand your anger at those who haven't gotten vaccinated. I understand the anxiety about getting a breakthrough case. But as the science makes clear, if you're fully vaccinated, you're highly protected from severe illness, even if you get COVID-19. In fact, recent data indicates there is only one confirmed positive case per 5,000 fully vaccinated Americans per day. You're as safe as possible. And we're doing everything we can to keep it that way. Keep it that way. Keep you safe. That's where boosters come in. The shots that give you even more protection than after your second shot. Now, I know there's been some confusion about boosters, so let me be clear. Last month, our top government doctors announced an initial plan for booster shots for vaccinated Americans. They believe that the booster is likely to provide the highest level of protection yet. Of course, the decision of which booster shots to give, when to start them, and who will give them will be left completely to the scientists at the FDA and the Centers for Disease Control. But while we wait, we've done our part. We bought enough booster shots, and the distribution system is ready to administer them. As soon as they are authorized, those eligible will be able to get a booster right away in tens of thousands of sites across the country for most Americans at your nearby drugstore and for free. The third piece of my plan is keeping, and maybe the most important, is keeping our children safe and our schools open. For any parent, it doesn't matter how low the risk of any illness or accident
soy-facing
is
vaccine DLC
when it comes to your child or grandchild. Trust me, I know. So, let me speak to you directly. Let me speak to you directly to help ease some of your worries. It comes down to two separate categories. Children ages 12 and older who are eligible for a vaccine now, and children ages 11 and under who are not yet eligible. The safest thing for your child 12 and older is to get them vaccinated. They get vaccinated for a lot of things. That's it, get them vaccinated. As with adults, almost all the serious COVID-19 cases we're seeing among adolescents are in unvaccinated 12 to 17-year-olds, an age group that lags behind in vaccination rates. So parents, please get your teenager vaccinated. What about children under the age of 12 who can't get vaccinated yet? Well, the best way for a parent to protect their child under the age of 12 starts at home. Every parent, every teen sibling, every caregiver around them should be vaccinated. Children have 4 times higher chance of getting hospitalized if they live in a state with low vaccination rates rather than states with high vaccination rates. Now, if you're a parent of a young child, you're wondering, when will it be the vaccine available for them? I strongly support independent scientific review for vaccine uses for children under 12. We can't take shortcuts with that scientific work. But I've made it clear I will do everything within my power to support the FDA with any resource it needs to continue to do this as safely and as quickly as possible. And our nation's top doctors are committed to keeping the public at large updated on the process so parents can plan. Now to the schools. We know that if schools follow the science and implement the safety measures like testing, masking, adequate ventilation systems, which we provided the money for, social distancing, and vaccinations, then children can be safe from COVID-19 in schools. Today, about 90% of school staffs and teachers are vaccinated. We should get that to 100%. My administration has already required teachers at the schools run by the Defense Department, because I have the authority as president of the federal system, the Defense Department and the Interior Department, to get vaccinated. That's authority I possess. Tonight, I'm announcing that will require all of nearly 300,000 educators in the federal paid program, Head Start program, must be vaccinated as well to protect your youngest, our youngest, most precious Americans, and give parents the comfort. And tonight, I'm calling on all governors to require vaccination for all teachers and staff. Some already have done so. We need more to step up. Vaccination requirements in schools are nothing new. They work. They're overwhelmingly supported by educators and their unions.
Yeah, well, they're not supported by my Facebook PhD.
Children, I'll always be on your side. Let me be blunt.
I got a fat
My
horse
plan
dick
also
in
takes on
Facebook
elected
signs.
officials in states that are undermining you and these life-saving actions. Right now, local school officials are trying to keep children safe in a pandemic while their governor picks a fight with them and even threatens their salaries or their jobs. Talk about bullying in schools. If they'll not help, if these governors won't help us beat the pandemic, I'll use my power as president to get them out of the way. The Department of Education has already begun to take legal action against states undermining protection that local school officials have ordered. Any teacher or school official whose pay is withheld for doing the right thing, we will have that pay restored by the federal government 100%. I promise you, I will have your back. The fourth piece of my plan is increasing testing and masking. From the start, America has failed to do enough COVID-19 testing. In order to better detect and control the Delta variant, I'm taking steps tonight to make testing more available, more affordable, and more convenient. I'll use the Defense Production Act to increase production of rapid tests, including those that you can use at home. While that production is ramping up, my administration has worked with top retailers like Walmart, Amazon, and Kroger's. And tonight, we're announcing that no later than next week, each of these outlets will start to sell at-home rapid test kits at cost for the next 3 months. This immediate price reduction for at-home test kits for up to 35% reduction. We'll also expand free testing at 10,000 pharmacies around the country. And we're committing $2 billion to purchase nearly 300 million rapid tests for distribution to community health centers, food banks, schools, so that every American, no matter their income, can access free and convenient tests. This is important to everyone, particularly for a parent or a child with a child not old enough to be vaccinated. You'll be able to test them at home and test those around them. In addition to testing, we know masking helps stop the spread of COVID-19. That's why when I came into office, I required masks for all federal buildings, on federal lands, on airlines, and other modes of transportation. Tonight, I'm announcing that the Transportation Safety Administration, the TSA, will double the fines on travelers that refuse to mask. If you break the rules, be prepared to pay. And by the way, show some respect. The anger you see on television toward flight attendants and others doing their job is wrong. It's ugly. The fifth piece of my plan is protecting our economic recovery. Because of our vaccination program and the American Rescue Plan, which we passed early in my administration, we've had record job creation for a new administration. economic growth unmatched in 40 years. We cannot let unvaccinated do this progress, undo it, turn it back. So tonight, I'm announcing additional steps to strengthen our economic recovery. We'll be expanding COVID-19 economic injury disaster loan programs. That's a program that's going to allow small businesses to borrow up to $2 million from the current $500,000 to keep going if COVID-19 impacts on their sales. These low-interest, long-term loans require no repayment for 2 years and can be used to hire and retain workers, purchase inventory, or even pay down higher-cost debt racked up since the pandemic began.
Comrade Joe.
I'll also be taking additional steps to help small businesses stay afloat during the pandemic. Sixth, we're going to continue to improve the care of those who do get COVID-19.
Does Biden have a very mild
In early
form of
July,
dementia?
I announced the deployment of surge response teams. These are teams comprised of experts from the Department of Health and Human Services, the CDC, the Defense Department, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to areas in the country that need help to stem the spread of COVID-19. Since then, the federal government has deployed nearly 1,000 staff, including doctors, nurses, paramedics, into 18 states. Today, I'm announcing that the Defense Department will double the number of military health teams that they'll deploy to help their fellow Americans in hospitals around the country. Additionally, we're increasing the availability of new medicines recommended by real doctors, not conspiracy theorists. The monoclonal antibody treatments have been shown to reduce the risk of hospitalization by up to 70% for unvaccinated people at risk of developing severe disease. We've already distributed 1.4 million courses of these treatments to save lives and reduce the strain on hospitals. Tonight, I'm announcing we will increase the average pace of shipment across the country of free monoclonal antibody treatments by another 50%. Before I close, let me say this. Communities of color are disproportionately impacted by this virus. And as we continue to battle COVID-19, we will ensure that equity continues to be at the center of our response. We'll ensure that everyone is reached. My first responsibility as president is to protect the American people and make sure we have enough vaccine for every American, including enough boosters for every American who's approved to get one. We also know this virus transcends borders. That's why even as we execute this plan at home, we need to continue fighting the virus overseas, continue to be the arsenal of vaccines. We're proud to have donated nearly 140 million vaccines over 90 countries, more than all other countries combined, including Europe, China, and Russia combined. That's American leadership on a global stage. And that's just the beginning. We've also now started to ship another 500 million COVID vaccines, Pfizer vaccines, purchased to donate to 100 lower-income countries in need of vaccines. And I'll be announcing additional steps to help the rest of the world later this month. As I recently released the key parts of my pandemic preparedness plan so that America isn't caught flat-footed with a new pandemic comes again, as it will, next month, I'm also going to release a plan in greater detail. So let me close with this. We've made so much progress during the past 7 months of this pandemic. The recent increases in vaccinations in August already are having an impact in some states where case counts are dropping in recent days. Even so, we remain at a critical moment, a critical time.
10 months, Pog.
We have the tools. Now we just have to finish the job with truth, with science, with confidence, and together as one nation. Look, we're the United States of America. There's nothing, not a single thing we're unable to do if we do it together. So let's stay together. God bless you all and all those who continue to serve on the front lines of this pandemic. And may God protect our troops. Get vaccinated.
President taking no questions, but outlining a multi-point plan to address the Delta variant of COVID-19. And probably the biggest headline there is requirements for large companies over 100 employees to be either undergo routine testing or to have a mandate for vaccinations. Let's get right to Chief White House Correspondent Peter Alexander. Peter, a lot to unpack there. Some things clearly within the president's power, some things he acknowledges are not.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. The key headline for me in the president's remarks
He's
was
doing
him
the right
saying that
thing,
we've
Jack.
been patient, but our patience is wearing out, and your refusal is effectively killing people. That was his message to the 80 million or so eligible to be vaccinated who have not yet got the shot. The president, who had been reluctant in the past to instituting mandates, is now doing that for.
I can't wait to see the fucking Fox News.
And he's humiliated by the Afghanistan situation. He's upset with the economic recovery where it should be, but it's not. So he's taking that anger out on the unvaxxed. He's targeting 80 million Americans who don't trust him, don't trust the media, for good reason. Country's been lied to for 3 decades. Why would you trust a politician or the media telling you anything? And instead of uniting the country against this pandemic and against China, because that's where it came from, he's trying to divide the country against itself for political exploitation. You know who people trust? They trust their doctor. So instead of doing all this crap that means nothing, give the doctors the shot.
I love this fucking take because it's like so many of these people that don't take the vaccine are not going to doctors, bro. They don't have fat fucking Fox News salaries and like access to healthcare, especially your dumbass audience that lives in like rural areas where there aren't even fucking hospitals. They don't trust the doctors. That's the problem.
There's
they trust you.
about 2 million federal government employees. Let's just say 70% are vaxxed. So that's 500,000 that aren't vaxxed. He's going to fire 500,000 government employees for not getting the shot. If he does that, he's the greatest bureaucratic reducer. I would call him a conservative. Yeah. I mean, he gets rid of 500,000 federal employees. Wow.
Jobs get filled.
Yeah, that would be a big deal. The other thing, if you have more than 100 workers at your company.
What's great is that, first of all, it's a OSHA mandate, so sucks to suck.
And it's just going to create a lot of turmoil in the economy. He was also speaking to these vaccine extremists. You know, these people that have the 2 shots, they can't wait for their booster. They wear a body condom when they leave the house. Still living like it's spring 2020 in deep quarantine, afraid to go to the grocery store. He's telling them, I'm on your side, right? It's these nasty, unvaxxed masses. These are the people that are hurting us. And then he says, if the economy doesn't...
But it's true. They're hurting us. They're filling up ICUs.
He's already set up an excuse that if this thing doesn't work out, it's their fault. He goes, we've done our part. Federal government, quote unquote. And then he lied and said, governor.
He has. He's doing it right now. This is the part that the federal government is supposed to do. Vaccine mandates.
The governor has said that.
Let's
and basically declared war on
47
Abbott
with the 10-tier one gift sub.
So
all right.
Yeah.
You do hear. I mean, you do hear that.
No, you hear that from the media. You don't hear
people they're interviewing.
Please. What a unifier.
My question was this: is that speech going to persuade any of those?
No, it doesn't persuade anybody. The great unifier is saying that all those are vaxxed are mad at those that aren't. So this is not true. It's all there to just gin up more animosity and cause division. Basically, he said the unvaxxed are the new terrorists. That's what he did. Like, he showed more anger towards that 80 million, this amorphous 80 million that he actually won't specify what constitutes the 80 million, which is kind of interesting. But he showed more anger towards them than the orderly and kind Taliban, right? The very business-like. He also lied. He lied so much. And he was basically, this whole thing was he was blowing his own horn because he blew it in Afghanistan. This was his way to show that maybe he is competent. So he had to gin up the fear. It was an interesting little game of saying everything's great, but it could just totally go to hell in a minute.
And it wouldn't be my fault.
And it wouldn't be my fault. It's these other people's faults. And then he's comparing the past, like before he got there to now. People have to remember, this is a guy that said, don't trust the vaccines.
Yep.
That's the guy. The same guy who said that is now saying people who say that are publicly dangerous or endangering public health.
I think jail. Am I wrong? I mean, this guy should go to jail. I mean, seriously, like if you're lying this much, you should go to jail. Like if you're deliberately lying, I'm so on board with throwing this guy in jail, dude. I want to see him fucking rot in jail.
It's a punching down thing, but he won't say who they are, right? And I don't trust anyone, especially him, who says the only way to get back to normal is to do X.
For the 15 gifted
but they
subs.
keep changing X because on how it affects them politically. So his government said, we're not doing mask mandates.
The worst part is all these fucking pieces of shit are vaccinated.
That changed. And now he has basically created unlimited power. He has unlimited power. He can have private businesses fire employees. That's unlimited.
And I'm interested in that because we have lawyers here at the table. But can I just mention one thing? When President Biden and Kamala Harris both said that they'd be skeptical of the vaccine if it was developed under President Trump. It was about a year ago to this day, right? It was right in that fall time frame as the election, right after Labor Day, as the election was really heating up. Can I ask you, Judge, what your general thoughts? But I do think about the fact that, first of all, that the Small Business Administration, the IRS, says that a small business is 1,500 employees. Now he's saying that if you have a business of 100 employees, and this has to go through a rulemaking process, it's not like you can just immediately say this. It's going to go to court. Would people that want to challenge it have a case?
Well, I think they could certainly challenge it. I don't know if they would have a case. I mean, because right now we're in a pandemic. Amen. And so what's happening is the courts are going to bend to the...
Dude, remember, guys, 3,000 Americans died on 9/11, 1,500 a day right now, okay? We are literally approaching 9/11 a day, okay? Again, so to throw up the air quotes when you say pandemic... Well, most of those people that are fucking dying now at this point are literally just like Fox News watchers and viewers. It's completely psychotic.
People to divide. These are all quotes. It's not about your freedom or your personal choice. Understand, and then he says, I understand your anger against the unvaccinated. And he is constantly ginning up anger in our society. It's all this Marxism thing that's following through everything that they're doing. And you're right, it was a year ago when they said, I'm not taking it if it's a Trump vaccine, if Trump supports it.
Dude, what difference does it make? They took the vaccine on camera. Shut the fuck up.
5% of Americans have at least one shot.
Dude, the thing that makes me so angry is that Fox News tailors its arguments towards an audience of baboons, okay? If you watch Fox News as entertainment, I'm sorry, I know a lot of your parents do. You're fucking stupid, okay? So they tailor the argument towards stupid people. And this is something that Donald Trump did as well. And it really fucking made me so mad. Like, they literally don't have to make a cohesive argument. It's just team sports. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't even have, they don't even have to lie. They literally just say, well, Joe Biden didn't want to take the vaccine last year. It's like before the vaccine was created. What difference does it make? He still took the vaccine. Once the experts said that the vaccine is safe, he took the vaccine on camera. So why are you bringing back something from a time when the vaccine didn't even fucking exist? And what does that mean? Are you trying to say that Joe Biden is like creating vaccine hesitancy? You guys all took the vaccine too.
Without the mask on, and they decide to throw the mother off. I mean, I could go on and on about the absurdity of people who don't have power, who are suddenly engaged and have power, then they abuse it.
What about
this guy doesn't impress
What
me.
about when he says the virus transcends borders?
Oh, I love that. That one.
That was
and by the way,
wide open border.
Oh, by the way, last thought.
He's talking about the border with Florida and Texas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and he's making sure they have more, but that's another issue. We've got the Delta variant. Wait till the Mongolian variant comes in. Wait till the one that comes in from Turks and Caicos. Everybody's going to have their own
keeps calling you.
I know. It's not my boyfriend. Everybody's bothering me. I'm turning this off.
Geraldo, let's give you the floor.
That's the government coming after you.
Well, first, I almost totally disagree with Greg and with Jesse. Now, and I love them. They're very reasoned people, generally speaking. But
no, they're not.
This was a president who was doing something that he feels necessary to curb an emergency that has already, ladies and gentlemen, taken more lives than the American Civil War. I mean, let's put it in the context of what we're talking about
this,
here.
Geraldo.
All right. Well, if you know it, then doesn't it bear context and repeating that this is what we're talking about? Not talking about you don't have a right to drink if you're 19 years old, or you don't have a right to have a license before you're 60. This is about life and death. He is impatient. He is angry. He thought that he would be remembered as the president who crushed COVID, and instead COVID is threatening to crush his agenda. So of course he is in every way frustrated.
Isn't it about Afghanistan? Come on, Geraldo. This is about Afghanistan.
Please.
This is the pivot.
Why
Bro, that's so dumb. Maybe it's about 1,000 deaths a day,
him an instant of sincerity?
Never.
A presumption of sincerity.
No, he has
because
provided so
everything
many people.
everything he says, you reject.
That's not true.
But also, this speech could have been given next Monday.
But ladies and gentlemen, there is long settled.
Then they would literally say, "Oh, you're doing it to hide the 9/11 anniversary."
Your freedoms cannot infringe on my family's health. You don't have the right to spread smallpox or measles or polio or whatever it is to my family. I have a right to protect my family. My government has the obligation to protect me and my family. Right now, you have schools teetering in the balance. You have, look at football starts tonight. Football starts tonight. What happens when the president says, "Oh, you know something? We have to go back to no fans in the stands again." Oh. I mean, we get that, right? We understand that this is horrible to go backwards. Listen to the man. Listen to him.
If he destroys football season, we impeach.
No one's going backwards.
We are going. If we don't listen, you don't listen.
Backwards.
Get the damn
Let me tell
vaccine.
you, three-quarters of the country has a vaccine. The people who don't have it made that decision.
I have grandchildren. You have to get vaccinated.
They made that decision. The people who don't want to do it make that decision. If they got comorbidities and if they're old, it's their. What do you mean they can't make it?
You have no right to make a decision that negatively impacts my family.
You know what?
This is.
They have the right to do whatever they want to do, and I'm sick and tired of them saying it's this party or that party. The people I know who aren't vaccinated just don't believe in any of it.
There's not a lawyer watching. There's not a lawyer watching who does not believe the president of the United States was well within his legal and constitutional rights.
I never said he wasn't.
Just because it's legal doesn't make it right, Geraldo. And you, as a lawyer,
wow, morality is not a substitute for legality. Only when it comes to fucking vax mandates. Also, the only reason why they're making this argument is because they literally know that this is well within the president's jurisdiction.
He very much wanted to change the subject, but he wanted it so badly he burned the house down.
Yeah, he did.
We'll have more of the 5 up
Burn the house down? How did he burn the house down? He burned the house down by fucking making sure everyone's vaccinated? Dude, I love this. I love this, dude. That was you, ladies and gentlemen. What we just watched is the reason why your parents literally are brain diseased. Okay. Do you want to understand? Do you want to understand why your parents have complete brain cancer, dude? Just straight up brain worms that ivermectin can't fucking deal with? They got irreparable brain damage from watching that shit all day and all night. And of course, here's another person with that fucking irreparable brain damage. Glenn Greenwald. The president has the power, acting alone, to set health policies for private employers, forcing them to fire their workers who don't comply. We've allowed the presidential powers to become virtually limitless. Well, Congress has, but this is quite a power. My man's talking about OSHA, dude. Glenn Greenwald is like one fucking age of consent law tweet away from being full-blown libertarian at this point. Like, right libertarian. I mean, seriously. This is like, OSHA laws are the nanny state is like literally just such a fucking dumbass libertarian take, dude. My father, who's an Australian, who's an Australian immigrant, really conservative, and I never really understood it. Isn't this some kind of evolution with all the stupid people now dying due to COVID? No, because it doesn't matter. It's not just stupid people that are dying. It's never just stupid people that fucking die, dude. Stupid people kill other people. If those who don't get the fucking vaccine were just dying alone on their own, quietly, then the government still has a responsibility to try and save them to the best of their ability. But ultimately, these people aren't dying alone. They're fucking dying inside of hospitals, especially in like rural areas and shit, where the ICU bed capabilities are marginal to begin with. So they're taking other people that are dying from preventable shit like gallbladder surgeries, gunshot wounds, stuff like that. I know everyone's gonna say that story was fake, but like, this is a real thing that is happening, okay? Ultimately, Yeah, it's not the ivermectin overdoses or whatever the fuck that's taking up ICU beds, but it is unvaccinated COVID patients that are taking the ICU capabilities, okay? There's as much vax in the hospitals, if not more. What the fuck? You are literally wrong. 95+% of those who have died of COVID are literally fucking unvaccinated, dude. You just made that up. Why are you making stuff up? And if you're making stuff up, then you have to recognize that what you're saying is untrue. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude.
Less than 3.
As a medical professional, you are just wrong. Listen, you dumb fucking idiotic baboon chiropractor. I do not give a fuck about your medical professional opinion when you can't even fucking spell correctly, okay? You're a goddamn juicer. You're 17 years old. Stop LARPing as a fucking medical professional, okay? Yeah.
Dr. Martin Kulldorff.
Hey, look at that. Some fucking fake news. 99% of hospital admissions were among those not fully vaccinated, dude. Look at that fake news from Fox News. Only 0.92% of deaths were a result of breakthrough infections in fully vaccinated patients. Wow, that's crazy. The vast majority of Americans who are getting serious cases of COVID-19 or dying are unvaccinated. They are the new 99%ers. Fox News, man. Fox News. Fake news, brother. I'd rather get my news from yippee-ki-yay motherfucker Facebook.com. That's right. Fox News is lying to you too. They're compromised by George Soros. Fox News is compromised by George Soros, brother. It's Animal Factory 1989. How many times do you think they're going to cover this on their actual broadcast on television? Huh? How many times? When Disney bought 20th Century Fox, they should have just also bought Fox News and shut it down. Why would they do that? Fox News makes so much money. 100% of the ICU patients in my roommates' hospitals aren't vaxxed. Same for weeks now. They're at capacity. Anyway, as I was saying, Fox News is not Fox News, sorry. Republicans are still going to win elections even if they lose because they've pad the decks. They've pad the decks. They stacked it against the Democratic Party. $14,000 fine per violation, according to the senior Biden administration official. Businesses that ignore the mandatory vaccine testing policy. Let's go. Woo! Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go. Get fucked, Daily Wire. Here's a search showing mentions of 99% on Fox News. Hint, it hasn't been covered in September. All mentions of 99% are something else. Damn, this is a crazy thing, RTBA. How'd you fucking find this? Doesn't seem a lot for businesses with 100+ employees. For every single violation, dude. Very limited.
This spike is a little shocking. It's really raging here.
Everybody's scared. Everybody's coming down with it. It's almost like a plague.
I had both shots of the vaccine, and people just acted like, sometimes the people just act like COVID is a big joke. I always want to say, well, why don't you just come right up here to the cemetery and I'll show you my husband's grave and I can show you it's no joke.
Over the 5 days we spent in Carter County, Missouri, it felt like COVID was closing in around us. The positivity rate kept climbing and is now 32%. Some people we wanted to interview told us they'd just been exposed or were too sick to talk.
This is a chicken pecker. Hold that in your hand.
We first came to Van Buren in October 2020 when COVID was starting to surge in rural America. When we heard that one of the diners we'd interviewed people in had closed for COVID, we wanted to come back and see what had changed. By the end of this spring, many thought COVID was over, but in the past few weeks, it's raged through town. The vaccination rate is very low, with only 27% fully vaccinated.
The overwhelming majority of our patients that are admitted to the hospital with clinically severe COVID are unvaccinated. I didn't realize how unvaccinated we were. I guess that's my fault. I didn't continue to push as hard as I should have to get people vaccinated because I thought everybody was, because the virus and the disease was abating, but I was wrong. It came back like a brush fire.
Are you vaccinated?
No, but I will be. I was pretty skeptical of it until I've kind of watched all this happen.
Jim's wife, Ruth, fought cancer for 12 years, but COVID killed her in 8 days. He says the doctor told her not to take the vaccine because of her chemo.
When did your wife die?
July the 20th. I talked to her up till Sunday before she died. And she said, this is bad. She said, you all need a shot. And I think she's right.
Last time we came here, the debate was over masks, and it had gotten very political.
We sit in the coffee shop and watch people walk in the door. We look at a mask and we all look at each other and we go, Democrat.
Later that fall, there was a COVID
nice.
surge in the area. But the health center says this wave is much worse. In Van Buren, after just 2 days of school this August, about 20 kids tested positive. 5 days later, almost a quarter of students were under quarantine. The preschool had to close for 2 weeks.
Come get your food, Tyler.
People in town were gossiping about who had it and where they got it. And they'd all seen our last story.
The last story you did? Well, I kind of thought it was all bullshit myself.
Oh, tell me more. Tell me why.
That ain't the way people are here. I think people here try to take care of each other. Those boys sitting in the coffee shop don't know what to talk about when they're talking about COVID. They need to walk through the COVID ward.
This is so fucking sad. Like, when I see stuff like this, okay, this is the type of shit that makes me feel bad about, you know, this is the reason why I don't like look at the Herman Cain Awards subreddit. Because, like, ultimately, there are a lot of fucking people that are, they're just like, they're nice people, you know what I mean? They're just like fucking confused. Obviously his situation is different. He's getting the vaccine and his wife couldn't get the vaccine for obvious reasons. But like, you know, there's a lot of fucking kind-hearted, but just like misinformed, racist old people. Okay. I mean, a lot of them are dying because they're stupid. That's the reality. Okay. They're not dying. They're dying because they're fucking brainwashed. What the fuck is going on with my fucking camera today, dude? Yeah, they're kind-hearted racists. You know what I'm saying? No, the point is, like, obviously you can't be fucking kind and racist at the same time. But the point I'm trying to make is that, like, a lot of these fucking dudes are just misinformed. Like, it's the social conditioning that made them that way. And it's the fucking social conditioning that also made them think the vaccine's gonna fucking murder them and shit.
That change your mind.
But Jim admits some people are pretty set in their views.
Good friend of mine, he hasn't had the shot, but everywhere he goes, if he goes in any place, he wears a mask. And he's probably one of the best guys I know. But you're not going to change anything about him. Maybe you ought to interview him.
Would he talk to him?
Yeah, but you probably wouldn't.
Why do you want the CNN subtitles, dude? Shut the fuck up.
Like what I tell you.
That's okay. That's okay.
See, it's not working. It's not good. It's not good. Shut the fuck up! It's not good! The CNN subtitles are not good. Shut up. Shut your fucking stupid mouth, okay? Go start your own stream with your own subtitles if you want to fucking watch it on your own leisure.
Hey, I'm surrounded. I need you to come down here. I'm serious.
Who are you surrounded by?
Well, a bunch of women.
Okay, I'll be right there.
All right. Hey, they're going to interview you.
Oh, no, they ain't.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Oh, no, they ain't.
Can I sit down there and buy you?
Why do you not want the vaccine?
I ain't taking that shit. I ain't taking it. I don't like people trying to push a shot on me or something else because I'm this bull-headedest fella you ever seen.
Last fall, COVID put Wayland in the hospital for 7 days.
I was on everything they had. Steroids.
Are you fucking kidding me? This motherfucker almost died of COVID already, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? How do you almost die of COVID and you're like, I ain't taking that shit? Insanity, dude.
Drip plasma from people that had COVID drug that they give my president Trump, and they finally burned it out of me.
What's the difference, though, between the vaccine and the drugs that you did take, like Regeneron?
Well, I would have took anything. It wouldn't have mattered what it was.
But why would you trust Regeneron and not the vaccine?
Am I going to have to tell her? I don't know. You know, the one thing is, they shafted my president. They would have had the vaccine, already had it, but they wouldn't give it to him because they knew damn good and well he'd be reelected. There wasn't nothing nobody could do. So they had to swindle around and skin around and keep it from him just as soon as the election was over. Here, we got it. You shafted me out of my president. I ain't taking your medicine. Not from, I'll take what they give him, but I'm not taking yours.
He took the vaccine, though.
Well, he might have. I don't know that.
I think they give him the Regeneron.
They did give him that, but he did take the vaccine.
Later on, probably, yeah. I'm not saying he didn't. I don't know that. But that's what pissed me off, and I ain't taking it because I'm that bullheaded.
There's no evidence for Waylon's theory, but he wasn't alone in his skepticism.
Have you thought about getting the vaccine?
No way.
Oh, really? How come?
Because I don't want to get sick.
And you think the vaccine would make you more sick?
Probably. It made my mom sick.
You mean when she got the...
Well, she got the vaccine in February.
And she got sick on Monday with COVID?
Yep.
Maybe COVID. Is she going to get tested?
Probably not. She's just staying home.
Oh, okay. How
And I'm bringing her groceries and doing whatever I can away from her.
Yeah.
One of her friends tested positive, and she had been with him, so more than likely.
I'm really behind right now because I was down for about a week and a half being sick, and I don't care. I got it. I told everybody, hey, I had COVID. Hey, if you don't want to get around me, don't get around me. I do have it.
So did you have the vaccine?
No.
Wait. What? Okay, brother, that's perhaps that's too much freedom. Has anyone ever considered, like, you can't do that? You're literally a fucking bioweapon? Brother, hey, don't be around me if you don't want to fucking die. I got COVID. I'm still alive.
Why not?
You might not be.
There's not enough research on it. I'm not totally against the shot. I mean, if I have to take it and it's gonna...
Dude, what do you mean there's not enough research on it, dude? What do you mean? Explain to me. I need to know what these fucking idiots say. What I mean when they say there's not enough research on the COVID vaccine. Like, what are you talking about? What do you think? They just like fucking made it in a bathtub, dude? Like, what do you mean there is not enough research, dude? What he actually means is there's not enough Facebook articles that I've read about it that actually say it's good. That's all he's saying, for the record.
Help me in the future and not hurt me? Yeah, I might take it.
Are you vaccinated?
I am not.
And why not?
I just haven't got vaccinated.
Okay.
Had a lot of people around me's had it. I just never got vaccinated. Around here, we're pretty country folk, and it's kind of hard to get people to do something they don't understand completely, or they don't feel the need to.
But are you in that category?
Well, I guess. Now I'll really get deep with you. I believe if the good Lord wants me right now, it doesn't matter if I take a vaccine or I don't.
Okay, I mean, this is suicidal. Like, I mean, that's just suicidal. Like, you can't argue with that guy. He's literally just saying, like, you know, I let Jesus take the wheel. Like, the problem is a lot of people have this fucking suicide pact going with the Republican Party. But the issue is they're not just dying alone. Like, they're not. I mean, they are literally alone when they're in that fucking room, right? With like one fucking ICU nurse to like 8 people. But they're also taking up ICU beds and other medical professionals that could be working on other people at that time.
And I know a lot of people would say, well, he also gave you common sense and you ought to go get the shot. But that's just, that's just the way I look at things.
I don't want to ever give anybody an excuse for doing something like not getting vaccinated, but the reasons do hearken to someone who has, been told that they're a dumb hillbilly all their life by the rest of the country, and that is not, that's not.
Dude, what really fucking makes me mad is when, like, dumb hillbillies act like dumb fucking hillbillies, and then they get mad that people are being like, you're being a dumb hillbilly. And then what is their reaction to being called a dumb hillbilly when they're in the process of being a dumb hillbilly? Oh, well, I'll show you. I'll be even dumber and a bigger hillbilly than you thought I previously was. And what really frustrates me is that there are plenty of fucking smart hillbillies, okay? They're the trillbillies. There are plenty of fucking leftists that live in the South. There are plenty of good people that live in the South. There are plenty of good people that live in flyover states. And they're fucking stuck with the dumb hillbillies, okay? And I don't give a fuck about the dumbass feelings of a dumb Republican who's like, I'm sorry, like, how dare you call me stupid for not taking the vaccine? Guess what? I'm gonna be even dumber now. It's like, dude, well, congratulations. You fucking played yourself, okay? Congratulations, you're a fucking idiot, and I don't know what else to tell you. Wow, left equals good, you equals for show. Yes. Left equals good. Yes. And conservative equals bad, okay? I'm a progressive person. I believe progress is important. I believe that it's rooted within empathy. And I believe that conservatism is not good and bad and not rooted in empathy. That's it. I believe these very simple things, okay? It feels like conservatives act like fucking kids, dude, like a bad kid. You're like, hey, don't put your fucking hand on the hot pan, like it will burn you. And then they're like, oh yeah, well I'll fucking do it. Fuck you. There's not enough information. Psst. Ah, I burned my fucking hand. And then you're like, well, you're an idiot. Like, good job, you did that. And then they turn around, they're like, why are you making fun of me? I'll put my hand on the pan again. Psst. Fuck. I'll do it I'll put my face on the pan next time, you fucking libtard. Like, that's what it sounds like. That's what you're behaving like. What the fuck is wrong with you? Figure it out, dude. Stop linking me the fucking sad rat news. It's literally not sad, okay? It's actually good. Hundreds of thousands of rats may have perished in Ida, one of the largest vermin depopulation events in decades. Fuck yes, dude. Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? Good shit. Ida had, like, I guess, a silver lining.
Not an excuse, but it's part of the reason. I don't know that we're, been told that they're a dumb hillbilly all their life by the rest of the country, and that's not an excuse, but it's part of the reason. I don't know that we're oppressed or disenfranchised, and I don't know if we deserve to even feel that way here, but we are a flyover state. In a social situation where peer pressure is so hard, we've had a lot of trouble to try to get people vaccinated. To break out of that peer group is very hard for people.
Has anyone wanted to get vaccinated in secret?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Like, tell me what they say.
When they're in my office and they say, I don't want to get vaccinated and this is why, and it's usually, at the very best, a specious reason or a fallacious reason, we have set up things where we can sneak one in your arm wherever you need to do it, because that's our goal.
It's hard, but it's not impossible. The health center said more people in Van Buren got the vaccine after 2 local kids in their 20s were hospitalized with COVID earlier this summer. Last year, we talked to Brian, who was pretty cavalier about COVID.
I guess if I get it and it kills me, then it's slow walking and sad singing for the family.
What would you put
this year? He's dead
on your tombstone?
Didn't wear a mask.
It took some convincing, but he agreed to talk to us again and tell us what's happened since.
Never mind, he's not dead.
No one feels like they can trust our government. It's not my fault no one's wearing their mask, and it's not my fault no one's taking the vaccine.
I mean, this dude's a kid. Like, he's a child. He's literally a fucking child.
It's the government's fault.
Did you get the vaccine? Please, Brian. Did you get the vaccine?
It doesn't matter whether I got the vaccine or not, whether I did or didn't.
Oh my God, he did. Oh my God, he did. He's literally, what a pussy, dude. He's like, he knows better.
Corona doesn't care who you are.
I know.
Whether you think you're a big tough guy or whether you're anything, it doesn't matter. If you get it, it can kill you. End of story. I don't want my
Why are you ashamed of it, you fucking idiot?
wife to have to wonder when they put you in a medical induced coma and stick a tube down your throat, is he going to come back out of it? That's why I got a vaccine.
Ellie Reeve, CNN, Van Buren, Missouri.
Oh, I love that. At least, I'm glad that he fucking at least got the vaccine, okay? So, Glenn Greenwald popping off with yet another fucking incredible hot take, dude. This guy, I mean, holy fuck. The unvaccinated in America are overwhelmingly low-income people, which means any punitive measures against those refusing vaccinations, loss of jobs, bar and entrance to public spaces or travel will disproportionately fall on those who are most economically vulnerable. How much does the vaccine cost, Glenn? How much does the vaccine cost, Glenn? What a fucking idiotic argument, dude. What an idiotic argument, dude. What a fucking dumb argument, dude. Also, what I find rather funny about this percentage that Glenn is showing. Let's look at another graph here. Okay? Let's look at another fucking graph. I want to look at another graph that features
evangelical
population of people. Let's take a look. Let's see if I can find one quickly here. Let's look at the distribution of household income. Oh, wow. What? Wait a minute, dude. Wait a minute. Kind of feels like this is just literally the same thing. What an incredibly misleading thing to fucking point to. If anything, the interesting part about this is the $50,000 to $75,000 range here. It's almost like there are more people making less than $25,000, okay? Than there are people making $200,000. Wow. A shocking reality, dude. Interesting. That's really interesting. It doesn't take much, dude. It doesn't take much
from the second dose of my
to actually be a fucking idiotic contrarian. Okay? Like, this is just, at this point, you are just grifting, dude. I mean, this is so fucking dumb. Why is he like this? Like, I don't understand. Why is he like this? Why is he so fucking stupid? Like, why is he willingly spreading misinformation? Like, it blows my fucking mind. People keep saying Peter Thiel. Like, did he actually get money from Peter Thiel? Like, where is that coming from? I was considering becoming vegan, but then when I realized Glenn is vegan and changed my mind, he changed when he became a vegan, shaking my head. Is he not eating enough meat? Like, what the fuck's going on? I mean, Bao Bao was pretty fucking silly too, so. And the new OSHA plan includes paid time off. Like, dumbass fucking hogs are so dumb. Dumbass hogs are so fucking dumb that they would rather not get paid fucking time off to get this goddamn vaccine that's free. There's problems of truth to it. People who live in poor areas get poor public education, so they're less knowledgeable. Yeah, I know. But it doesn't matter because the vaccine is free, dude. There is no response to this. He subtweeted you on his tweet. What did he say? The number of ignorant liberals responding to the above data about pointing out that the vaccine is free and believing they're making a clever point will shock you if you look. They still, after all these months, don't understand why so many people are vaccine hesitant. The U.S. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer said he will retire on his own terms amid calls from progressives for him to step down from the court so President Biden can name a younger liberal to take his place. Black Americans have literally been ghosted by the medical system. Are they victims of misinfo too? I mean, of course they're fucking victims of misinformation. It doesn't matter what your background is. If you're hesitant to take the vaccine, you have become a victim of misinformation. Yes, for Black Americans, because of medical racism, there is more legitimacy to be fearful, but ultimately, they're still victims of misinformation when they're refusing to get, fucking get the vaccine, dude. I'm a Black 16-year-old girl. My parents don't want to get vaccinated. Their excuse is they don't know what's in it. I want to get vaccinated, but I don't want to drive, so it's not like I can drive to the nearest vaccine site. Shit sucks, man. Dude, what are you talking about? Uber and Lyft would literally give you a free ride. Also, you can get your parents to be vaccinated too. They don't know 90% of the things. Please stop taking the Black American talking seriously. Black Americans are getting vaccinated. White hogs aren't. Don't let white hogs shield their idiocy under Black Americans. That's the other part. But there are Black people in here who also fucking make that argument sometimes, and it pisses me off. Because the reason why there are Black people in here that are making that argument is because they probably know someone, a relative or something, that fucking literally is not taking the vaccine. And I've told you guys before. I've told you guys this before. Like, if you have Black relatives or Black loved ones that are scared of taking the vaccine because of medical racism and all of that stuff, there are very easy counters to that. Tell them that rich white people cut the line to get the vaccine first. Tell them that they're literally giving ivermectin instead of the fucking vaccine to prisoners in Arkansas, Black prisoners in Arkansas. Help them recognize that, like, no, this is something that, like, rich white people specifically were trying to get before anyone else. One medical literally got caught by the U.S. government for cutting the line and giving fucking rich people that were not eligible to get the vaccine because they don't trust the government, the corporate media, or public health authorities because they believe that they've been lied to by so many times by those institutions of authority they don't merit trust. Dude, for the record, by the way, I think what Glenn is doing here, I mean, his analysis is correct. Part of the reason why people don't believe this shit is because they don't trust the government, not corporate media. They trust Fox News. But they don't trust the government when it's the Joe Biden government. They trust the government when it's fucking Donald Trump. They trust the public health authorities to a certain degree. But what you are supposed to do as an intellectual, as a public thinker, as someone who is in a situation as someone who is like in a public position of prominence, you're supposed to do the right thing, which is go against the misinformation, not ride the wave of misinformation so you can fucking make Substack dollars, dude. Do the right thing instead of fucking being like, there's nothing I can do. They don't trust the government. Yeah. So what? I have one medical, and at the time I asked my doctor for the vaccine. He said he had no authority to make that happen, so it wasn't clear to me what that story was about. It was in San Francisco. I asked too to see what the fuck they were doing. In LA, they were like, no shot. But they did it in San Francisco. It was one doctor. I asked, out of journalistic integrity, chat. I was in Oakland, lol. Guess that clears it up. Yep. Wait, Todd Starnes? Biden says even Fox News is a mandatory vaccine policy. Is that true? That can't be true. Have Hannity and Tucker and others gotten the vaccine? That just can't be true. Are you serious? Oh, can't be true. It can't be true. Wait, was that too much? I don't think it was too much. You're going to get an article written about you? Ah, fuck it. These people don't know how to write, dude. Are you kidding me? They're animals. Wow, you're a real piece of shit. Your mom seems to like it, though. Fucking got him, dude. How can their brains not process this point? Me, the vast majority of unvaccinated people are low income, so punitive measures will fall mostly on them. Dude, the vaccine is free. How can they think this is responsive? Their brains are so broken. Oh, these fucking guys. The replies underneath are unbelievable, lol. No one said low-income people can't afford the vaccine. We know it's free in the U.S. The point is that if low-income people don't want it for whatever reason, they will be impacted by the most job loss and other punitive measures. Then get the vaccine. That's what it's supposed to do. That's why there is such a mandate. That's how mandates are supposed to work. Can you imagine putting this graph and being like, the overwhelming majority of people that are going to be impacted by murder laws are people that want to do murder that happen to be in this category. And it's like, dude, are you fucking dumb? Like, yeah, that's why there are laws, okay? That's why there are these laws. We make mandates for this specific reason. Are you vaccinated? Fuck yeah, I'm vaccinated. Would you make the libraries are free argument to defend the educational status quo? Of course not. Of course not. But if you're making a comparison with a library as opposed to like public education being fucking free for everyone with an equal opportunity in the same way that a fucking vaccine is, you're an absolute moron. Perhaps you should ask yourself why you were trying to desperately make an argument that is the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my entire life. You get one fucking vaccine, you're good. Going to the fucking free library doesn't automatically give you after-school programs and a decent education and fucking consulting that will allow you to go to the best college or whatever the fuck. Okay? How dare you make such an idiotic comparison, you fucking baboon? Why do so many of you just simply want to be contrarian? You really thought, dude, this motherfucker, he wrote that and was like, I'm gonna get him, dude. I'm gonna fucking wreck his asshole with this one, dude. What about the libraries are free argument? That's such a fucking dumb, moronic take. Is a library an acceptable fucking substitute for like a valid public school education that is adequately staffed? You dumb fuck. Go ahead. I want to hear this fucking idiot's argument. No, this guy is the ultimate fucking contrarian troll. He always makes like really stupid arguments too. You're right, but you're making a slippery slope argument, or so is a chatter. No, I'm not. I'm not making a slippery slope argument at all. Shut the fuck up. You just wanted to say slippery slope because you like think that that's a decent way to fucking... A reminder to people who eat a plant-based diet but continually advocate for the death of thousands daily by spreading vaccine hesitancy aren't vegan. Damn, dude. Okay, oh, dude, holy shit. Ostenak with the fucking clapback on Glenn Greenwald, dude. Yeah, I love graphs that don't tell you anything. You remember how, like, you remember the heat maps that we would see all the time in the beginning of fucking COVID? where like they would be like, look at all the areas where, you know, people are getting COVID. And it was literally the same population heat map, basically, stamped over. It's like, no shit, dude. Yeah, population density factors into the likelihood that you're going to get fucking COVID. Like, this graph doesn't tell you anything. By the way, does that chatter know public schooling is literally mandatory? No, because he was clearly fucking homeschooled, okay? The arguments that he makes are unironically like, I was homeschooled by my fucking mom, who happens to also be my cousin. That's probably why he fucking makes such dumbass arguments. Has he gotten back? I want to know if he like actually responded. You argued against any forms of means testing for earlier policies, adding additional barriers before there was baseline improvement disproportionately disadvantages those who are left behind. Man, shut the fuck up. The entire purpose of a fucking regulation such as this is to force people to get the vaccine. The end all be all is you're saying people should be dumb enough not to get the vaccine. Shut the fuck up. Okay? You already got fucking your ass cheeks clapped by this, and now you're turning around and trying to fucking move the goalpost to a more appropriate argument. And even then, it doesn't matter. You argued against any form of means testing for earlier policies, adding additional barriers before there's baseline improvement disproportionately disadvantages them. It's such a fucking idiotic take, because you want to know where there's no means testing? The vaccine! It's free for all! There's no means testing on the mandatory vaccine! Shut the fuck up! They tried the carrot. Now it's time for the fucking stick. For the homeschooled, inbred motherfuckers like you. Okay? Time for the stick. Sorry, you're too much of a fucking hog to go get motivated by the carrot. That's how it works. And that's what a responsible government is supposed to fucking do. This is the tweet you made fun of? Yeah, map of the mask wearing in the US versus map of total count. Yeah, I see if you can spot a pattern. Yeah, the pattern is it's a fucking heat map, idiot. That's what an authoritarian government's supposed to do? No, dude. All manner of governance is authoritarian. It's about who you are excluding, okay? Unless you're some fucking weirdo who believes that, like, there should be no fucking government whatsoever, okay? In which case, you know, go to the fucking loony bin, all right? Because you're not a serious fucking person, but all matter of laws technically exclude people. If you are the type of person that wants to do murders, for example, you're like, oh man, I really want to do a murder. The government is technically excluding you from doing a murder. What do? Well, that's an authoritarian action that they're taking. They're telling you, if you do a murder, we will rob you of your freedom. We will rob you even of your humanity. Okay? That's what a government does. That's what a responsible government does. Okay? They set rules and regulations to make sure that there is some kind of social back and forth amongst the population that have conflicting values, opinions, and ideas. Okay? So this is a public health measure. And that's precisely what's happening in this public health measure. Okay? So yes, it is authoritarian. But not all matter of authoritarianism is bad. Okay? We are excluding people, or we are saying we will punish you if you don't get the vaccine. To me, that is what a responsible government is supposed to do. It is no different than saying we will punish you if you murder someone. Okay? I know I've been making the DUI joke too many times, so I stopped making it, but it's like no one's thinking about the drunk drivers affected by DUI laws. Why are they getting singled out by a mandate? DUI laws are exclusionary. I want to fucking drive drunk. I want to drive drunk. Drinking is legal. Driving is legal. Why can't I do both? Get wrecked, liptards. I want to be able to smoke indoors, brother. Punitive measures will disproportionately affect lower income earners that are stubborn. Key point being stubborn. That cannot be disputed. Wouldn't these measures take them more untrusting long term, though? I understand the importance of the immediate short term problem we're tackling. Not trying to be contrarian here. Brother Q responded to you. It's not free if you don't have paid time off to get the vaccine or recover from its after effects. Guess which income category in that chart has the highest number of people who can't afford to miss one, much less multiple days of work? Okay. The only reasonable argument here is for gig workers, okay? Gig workers also deserve time off. PTO is in the mandate, but it's not, we don't know yet if it'll encompass gig workers as well. But ultimately, that's it. And before anyone, he says, before anyone chimes in with the OSHA rules coming down the pike, ask yourself which income category. He's right. He's covering that part too. He says highest number of people who fall outside of that type of OSHA mandate, gig workers and undocumented workers. That is correct. That is a legitimate, correct argument. Okay? That is the only legitimate fucking counter. And that should also be in the specific carve-out. That should also exist. Okay? Having said that, though, yes, dying is a permanent timeout. That's a really good point that Chatter brought up. Okay?
Hassle.
Dying from COVID, permanent timeout. And not only that, but also this notion that like these people just literally cannot get the vaccine is a silly one. I don't know why we're doing this. Like it's ridiculous. When it's not a fucking certainty that it's exclusively people that are like, when we ask these people, why haven't you gotten the vaccine yet? Very few of them say, I don't have time to do so. Almost all of them say, I don't want to take it because it's fake. So why are we arguing from a position as though there's like a massive amount, like millions of people that are like, oh, fuck, man. I want to get it, but I can't. Like, why are you hyper focusing on like literally this tiniest fucking margin of people that do have a legitimate reason for why they can't get the vaccine? Instead of trying to solve that, we're using those people as an argument. I don't understand it.